Here are 50 Fall Guys tips and tricks for beginners to help you qualify and win games. On slime platforms at a downward angle, if you press the dive button, you will slide down the slime, making you go way faster. This also includes ice platforms like the one in Ski Fall. However, if the platform is at a straight angle, spam the jump and dive button to go way faster than simply walking. In the whirligig, if you want to go through the middle at the end of the level, go to the corner opposite of which the spinner is spinning, and jump dive right before you make it to go through it flawlessly. On Seesaw, big fans, and full tilt, once you get on a checkpoint platform, you can walk off the platform and it will have the possibility of spawning you farther on the platform. However, do note that sometimes the checkpoint won't spawn you farther. Whenever trying to make close jumps, you can actually jump a few frames after walking off a platform, making certain jumps much easier. For example, on this part of the slime scraper, as you're walking off the edge, jump and shortly after dive to skip the entire conveyor and puncher section of the map. If you ever happen to jump on the spinning plate in Royal Fumble, what I like to do is to make a full turn and then jump back to the original platform I was on. Like this, I could prevent most people from taking my tail. If you're having trouble avoiding the thick bonkuses in Night Fever, try staying right at the edge of the holy half pipes, yes that's what they're called, and like this, the thick bonkuses will only tap you in the head instead of knocking you off the map. When attempting to grab a crown, tail, or trying to jinx someone, but they're too far away, always remember about a feature called dive grabbing, where if you press the dive button whilst holding grab, you can actually do whichever of these three things. Whenever you have a bean ball power-up equipped and are walking on a long path, try diving and immediately activating your power-up. It'll give you quite a boost in speed. Speaking of speed, if you want to get an extraordinary amount of speed from speed arches, go through a speed arch, turn around to go through it again, and then turn around one last time to do the same thing. It may take a few seconds to do this, but you'll go so fast that those seconds will be recovered in no time. However, do note that this only works in creative maps at the moment. Stomping Ground is one of the hardest maps in Fall Guys, but if you want to make it much easier for yourself, stay near a lily pad on the outside of the map, so whenever a rhino comes charging towards you, simply jump to the lily pad to go over it. On maps like Perfect Match and Sunfruit, unless absolutely necessary, do not follow the crowd and try to figure out yourself where the correct tile is. This is because oftentimes, people will follow a guy that's wrong or secretly trolling, and this can wipe out half the lobby. However, on the rare chance there is a bar in the middle of the map on Perfect Match, what you could do is either stay on the edges of the map to avoid the bar and give yourself time to think, or you could jump on top of the bar to completely avoid the challenge. Be careful though, multiple people will be trying this strat and might push you off on accident or on purpose because they're evil beings. But if being evil is up your alley, then Jump Showdown is the perfect map for you. Once the bar gets fast enough, right as it comes around, you can tap grab someone as they're jumping to prevent them from doing so, causing them to be eliminated. Whilst on the topic of finales, if a conveyor belt just so happens to spawn in Fall Mountain, specifically on the right side, always go for it. It'll make you go way faster than normal. On Hexaring, there are two strategies to survival. You could either stay jumping at the edge of the map to preserve tiles, or you could be an absolute menace by depleting everything in the middle of the map early in the round. This is a solid strategy because most people will stay in the middle of the map, and by the time the map fully rotates, most of the tiles will be gone. If a blast ball ever gets launched towards you, jump directly above it. Like this, you'll get launched into the air instead of getting flung off the map, and you can control where you land. If you want to make your life easier on Kraken Slam, it is best to not jump on the pattern tiles. It will make your life a lot easier and will give you an easier time winning. On Full Tilt, you can actually use the spinning bollards, yes that's what they're called, to your advantage by making them give you a boost. This strategy also works on other maps, but this is where it's the most effective. In Lily Leapers, instead of slowly jumping your way from pad to pad, dive whilst midair to land on the next lily pad much faster. After some practicing, you can get extremely good at timing this. When on a bouncy platform, you can press the jump button as you're being bounced up from it to make you go higher. Also, if you use this strategy to bounce on the edge of a bouncer, you can get an absolutely insane boost from it. In Skyline Stumble, you can dive straight from this checkpoint to the first floating platform to make you go faster. Also on this map, if you dive to the pinball flipper right as it's about to hit you, it'll boost you extremely high up, and sometimes all the way to the finish line. In Hoverboard Heroes, tons of people mess up attempting to use these bridges at the end, but it's actually quite simple. Go to the right side and wait for the bridge at the end to spawn in. As soon as you see it, jump towards the one that hasn't spawned in yet. Whilst jumping, the bridge will spawn, giving you enough time to qualify. After using this speed arch and track attack, it'll actually be much faster to use the bouncers at the bottom to boost yourself to the bottom path, and then use this path for the rest of the level. Now, Slime Climb is without a doubt the map with the most strategies, so get your paper and pencil out to write this down. At the beginning here, you can use the bouncer to skip most of the path. Then at the corner, you can jump this fence. Next, you can jump up to the platform with a pusher and skip the rest of the path. Then at the end of the yellow bean, skip another path by jumping near the fence. Next on this platform, you can skip yet another path. And finally, with most of the variants at the end, you could simply just use the spam dive trick from earlier to speed past them. Okay, are we done with Slime Climb? Alright, good. On airtime, the easiest way to qualify is by dropping down to this trapeze right here, and as it's tilting, jump over to a trapeze to avoid falling. Then, land back on the seesaw and repeat this until you qualify. When in the final room of my favorite map, Lost Temple, turn your camera upwards to see where the crown is. Like this, you can jump to the correct lily pads to win the game. On thin ice, do not, and I mean do not, run around the edge of the map, because 9 out of 10 games, there will be someone that will attempt to push you off the entire map. And in case you're wondering, that someone will probably be me. When you reach this edge on Tundra Run, dive right as you're about to fall off the platform to get an insane boost. Speaking of fans, if you end up touching the bottom of a fan, immediately press the jump button to boost you up high into the air. One last thing about fans. In button bashers, as soon as the map starts, run to press the button to your left or right, jump, and use the fan to get to the button at the top, since it will always be the first button to be lit. Once you're at the third to last row in Tiptoe Finale, you can make the jump to the final platform without needing to find the path on the last 2 rows. In Dizzy Heights, once you reach this second wall at the boulder section, jump on top of it and then jump from wall to wall to cheese the section. When on a Boom Blaster, right as it's about to boost you, press the jump button to make you go higher. If you make it to the end of Pipe Dream and the trapeze isn't reachable when you make it there, jump down to the yellow pipes for an easy qual. In maps like Penguin Pool Party, Power Trip, Egg Scramble, etc., if someone is grabbing you while you're holding something, let go of the object so when the bean lets you go, you can immediately continue grabbing the object. Once you're on the harder sections of Gate Crash, whenever you see a gate going up, run towards it. This is because by the time you reach it, the gates will be down. In Fruit Shoot, do not go down the middle path unless you want the Death Wish. Always stay either on the left or right side of the map. Once you reach this section in Speed Circuit, turn around as you're falling to get boosted by the very edge of the bouncy platform. In Hoopsy Legends, if you see a hoop spawn here or here, you don't need to waste time finding a block for support, just make the jump for an easy point. While Fall Guys may tell you that bars are an obstacle, a lot of the time, they can be friends that support you immensely. Don't believe me? Well, next time you see a bar, get to a position where it hits you forward, and as it's hitting you, press the jump button to get a massive boost from it. Thank you for watching, and if any of these tips helped you, a like and a sub would be very much appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.